I remember the day I stood in that sunlit atelier, surrounded by bolts of ivory silk and lace that whispered like secrets in the breeze. The air smelled of fresh flowers and coffee, and outside, Manchester's skyline hummed with life. I'm James Hartley, 32 now, and I'm a wedding designer whose gowns have graced aisles from London to Edinburgh. Brides send me photos of their big days, tears in their eyes, saying my designs made them feel like queens. But if you think this was some fairy tale, let me tell you it wasn't. It was grit, heartbreak, and a hell of a lot of doubt. Stick with me, and maybe you'll see a bit of your own hidden dreams in my story. Flashback to 3 years ago. I was 29, just another bloke in a dusty warehouse on the outskirts of Manchester. The place reeked of cardboard and diesel fumes, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees overhead. My days were endless. Stacking boxes, forklift beeps echoing off concrete walls, muscles aching by noon. I earned enough to pay rent on a cramped flat and grab pints with mates on Fridays. But during breaks, while others scrolled on their phones, I'd huddle in the corner with a battered sketchbook. I'd draw dresses flowing A-lines with delicate beadwork, vintage-inspired sheaths that hugged curves just right. It started as a kid, watching my mum sew curtains, her needle flashing under the lamp. "You've got an eye, James," she'd say. But life pushed me toward real jobs. Warehouse work was steady, no questions asked. No one knew about the sketches. They'd laugh, call it soft. So I buried it deep, like a secret shame. Then came the layoff. It hit like a gut punch on a rainy Tuesday morning. The boss called us into the break room, his face grim under the harsh lights. "Economic downturn," he muttered, handing out envelopes. "Sorry, lads." Mine said redundancy, 2 months' pay, and a pat on the back. I stared at it, the paper crinkling in my fist, as mates grumbled and shuffled out, walking home through the drizzle, my boots squelching on puddles. It sank in. No job, no routine, just me and that empty flat. Bills piling up, savings non-existent. What now? That night, I hit rock bottom. Alone on my sagging couch, surrounded by takeaway wrappers and empty beer cans, I flipped through my sketchbook, pages of dreams I'd ignored. Tears burned my eyes, shame twisting my gut like a knife. Who was I kidding? A warehouse grunt dreaming of fashion? I felt like a fraud, humiliated by years, wasted lifting boxes instead of chasing what lit me up. Fear clawed at me. What if I tried and failed? Ended up homeless? Begging for my old job back? Frustration boiled over. I hurled the sketchbook across the room, pages fluttering like wounded birds. "You're pathetic, James," I whispered to the empty walls. But in that darkness, a spark flickered. Mum's voice echoed, "You've got an eye." Maybe it was time to stop hiding. The next morning, hungover and scared, I decided to risk it all. I cashed my redundancy check, £2,000, and bought a second-hand sewing machine off eBay. No fancy plan, just desperation. I started small, scouring thrift shops for cheap fabric, the musty smell clinging to my clothes as I haggled over satin remnants. At home, I'd pin patterns late into the night, needle pricking my fingers, blood spotting the cloth. My first dress? A disaster, uneven hems, puckered seams. I posted it on Instagram anyway, under @HartleyBridalDreams. Crickets. No likes, no follows. Setback 1. Doubt, creeping back. But I kept going, watching free YouTube tutorials on draping and fitting. Hands cramping from practice. Step by step, I built it. Mornings, sourcing materials online, comparing prices on sites like fabric.com till my eyes blurred. Afternoons, sketching client-inspired designs, incorporating feedback like more lace on the bodice. Evenings, sewing, the machine's hum, my only company. Struggles hit hard, bills overdue, so I took odd jobs delivering pizzas, grease-staining my jeans. 1 month, a fabric order arrived wrong, stiff tulle instead of soft. I cried in frustration, unraveling hours of work. But mini breakthroughs came. My first sale, A simple veil for £50 to a local bride. It's perfect, she messaged. And that validation? Electric. I learned to photograph dresses properly. Natural light. White backgrounds to make them pop online. Networking? I cold emailed bridal shops. Heart pounding. Pitching collaborations. Most ignored me, but one in Leeds said yes. Stocking a sample gown. Practical stuff woven in. Consistency matters. Post daily, even if it's just a progress pic, builds trust. Listen to criticism. A bad review on Fit taught me to offer virtual measurements. Save every penny. I skipped pub nights to afford better thread. And patience success doesn't explode overnight. 2 years in, I had a small following, orders trickling from Etsy, but setbacks persisted. A custom gown ripped during shipping, client furious. "This ruined my fittings," she yelled over the phone. I refunded her, stomach churning, then fixed it myself, driving hours to deliver personally. Apologizing face-to-face rebuilt that bridge. The climax came last year, a high-profile wedding expo in London. I'd scraped funds to booth there, designs packed in my beat-up van. Nerves shredded me, imposter syndrome screaming. What if pros laughed at the ex-warehouse guy? Setup day. I arranged gowns under spotlights, hands shaking. Then, a bride to be stopped, eyes widening at my signature piece. A boho lace number with hand-embroidered flowers. "This is me," she whispered. But drama struck. A rival designer accused me of copying, loud enough for crowds to hear. Humiliation flushed my face. Whispers spread. High stakes. Lose credibility. Business tanks. I stood tall, pulled out my sketchbook. "These are originals," I said calmly, showing dated pages. Inspired by my mum's garden. Dialogue diffused it. She backed off, mumbling apologies. That night, orders flooded, my booth buzzed. Victory tasted sweet. Within months, my designs walked real aisles. A Scottish castle wedding, a beach ceremony in Cornwall. Brides tagged me in videos, veils trailing like dreams. 3 years from layoff to this earned through sweat and scars. The emotional payoff? Mum visited my new studio, tears streaming as she touched a gown. "I'm so proud, love," she said, hugging me tight. My self-identity shifted, no more hidden sketches. I'm a creator, worthy. Pride swells when I see my work bring joy, erasing old shame. Listen, if you're stacking your own boxes, whatever they are, know this. Transformation hurts, but it's possible. Risk it, step by step. You've got an eye too. Chase it. You might just design your own fairy tale.